What's up everyone? Welcome back to the shop. I've always wanted to make a Japanese style puzzle box. Now I don't have a puzzle box that I can take apart and dissect and see how it works. So what I did was I jumped on the computer, did some design work of my own, and I came up with a 12-step puzzle box that ultimately opens up and you'll get access to the main area of the box, but also has a secret drawer underneath that you can pull out. I prepped some material beforehand for this project. I went ahead and milled up some wenge because I think that dark color will look really cool for this project. And then I was thinking, what if the inside looked completely different than the outside? So I went ahead and milled up some maple and glued maple to the inside face of the wenge. Cut it down to its final size. And what I came up with are these, which are the interior parts for our box. So these are the sides. The maple here is the inside. And now everything is driven off of these sides. So we're gonna take these and cut a series of channels that will allow all of our pieces to move up, down, sideways, whatever we need. We're gonna have to be super precise with these. This project's gonna be a little bit tricky, mainly because of the precision we have to have for our cuts. We gotta make sure that all of our pieces move smoothly. At the same time though, if things are a little bit too loose, then the box just doesn't feel as structurally sound. We're gonna be dealing with some super tight tolerances. We're gonna start by heading over to the table saw and cutting grooves in our side panels so we can get all of those set up. Now, I am probably gonna use these quite a bit. These are brass setup bars. If you've never used these before, you can buy them in a set. They're really not that expensive. And they come in these brass bars that have different sizes. And these are awesome for determining the distance between a fence and whatever your blade is, your router bit, and also determining the height, so you can set your blade at the exact height you want. So I will put a link in the description to these if you're interested in getting some. I recommend them. Again, not very expensive, really, really handy. So let's go over to the table saw. I'm gonna put in a ripping blade with a flat tooth, and we will start cutting all of our grooves, our notches for all the pieces. I cut grooves on our box sides here. Now I need to cut the dados that go across the grain. Now I don't want to do this at the table saw because if I do, then I'm going to end up showing a little cutout here on the top of the box edge. I don't want to do that. Instead I'm going to go to the router table and do a plunge cut. And I will plunge it down and cut just this part right here where the dado is. And I have to get one here, I need one over here, I need one on this end, and I need one about right there too. The sides aren't looking too bad. I gotta do a little bit of cleanup work with the chisel just to square off those dados that we just cut over at the router table. Now, the next step is really important. We need to cut the pieces that will actually hold the box together. So I'm gonna mill up some maple and then cut a tongue and groove so it fits into that dado that we just routed. But the more important aspect is we need to route out a zigzag pattern into that because that's what's actually gonna allow the mechanism for the box to slide back and forth and up and down. I'm gonna start by milling up the board and getting it so that we know that these fit snugly into place. Then we'll work on the zigzag pattern. With the sides done and the notches cut out on our front and back pieces, we can see how these fit in place like we need them. Now comes the really tricky part, which is cutting out this weird zigzag pattern here that we have to cut out. So I need to route out this series of channels that go up and down, back and forth, and then we're gonna have a peg or a dowel that allows it to move through here. So to do this, I really only want to route this down to about 1/8 inch deep. It doesn't need to be super deep. So I'm going to take a router and do it. I think I'm going to try using my palm router. It's really small and just try to get close to the edges and then I can come out with a chisel and make sure that I get everything squared up and nice and clean. I like the way these side pieces are fitting into the dados. Now, if you look at this channel that we carved right here, This is to hold the bottom of the compartment, but we need to carry that channel up the sides for these pieces that we just made. I'm going to take a marking knife, mark where I need to, and then take it over the table saw, cut it out. Pretty cool, huh? Now that we put the interior pieces and the box bottom in there, it's actually starting to take shape. So the next step is to actually do the front and the back. Now they're gonna be kind of similar to these interior pieces that we did. We need to go over to the table saw and cut out a notch so those pieces will fit into the channels that we cut, and then they'll be able to slide up and down. Now the one difference though is, instead of doing a zigzag pattern on those, we're just gonna route out a horizontal channel, and that channel is gonna allow a peg to fit through it, and then that peg can move side to side, and as we move the front or the back up and down, it will follow that zigzag pattern. It'll make sense later. Now we start to see some of that functionality in this. So I've got the front and the back piece in there. And you can start to see why we made some of the decisions we did as far as cuts go. So in the front here, we want the front to be able to slide down, but not up. So the lid is going to be able to come out this way. So that's the reason why we did stop dados here. So it won't come higher, but it will go lower. Now on the other side, it's the opposite. So this is the back here. In this case, we're going to have the drawer underneath. So I have this where it will come up, so the drawer will pull out. But I didn't want it to come all the way out, just because I thought it would be cool not to. So what I did was, I took that tenon that we had cut and I simply just cut off a piece of it here. So it will come up and then it will have a hard stop, so it won't come all the way out. But it is enough for that drawer to pull out. Pretty sweet. So I think now I'm going to go ahead and make the top and the bottom for the whole box. I know I can make the front and the back, but I think that having the top and the bottom in there is just going to help with the registration of everything. So I'm going to make those really simple, mainly just use the table saw. Got the bottom, got the top. Now we get to see what it's going to look like, which is really exciting. So let me slide the bottom in place, slide the top in place. I like it. So now at this point, I can go ahead and glue these interior pieces into place, because I can always slide the bottom out to put in all of our other pieces. So I'm going to glue these together. We start assembling this thing. I plan to put some plans on my website for this project in case you want to give it a shot yourself. Now those plans will be available for free to our superhero community members. So if you're interested in becoming a superhero yourself, then head on over to the link in the description or hit the join button. Either way works. You'll get some extra videos, behind the scenes, sneak peeks, all kinds of good little perks if that is something you're interested in. The box is all glued up, so now we get to work on the front and the back. Now those are really going to be 3 different pieces. So we're going to take our fronts and backs over to the table saw, cut them into the 3 pieces, and then bring them back over here. We're going to glue the top piece and the bottom piece to the box. The center piece we won't glue. Instead, we're going to put a dowel pin in the back of that. And then we'll be able to insert that into the box, and that's what's going to slide back and forth, following that zigzag we carved, and that will then allow us to open and close the box. To keep the key in place, what we're going to do is we're going to use friction and angles. So we're going to go to the table saw, we're going to cut our pieces at an angle, put them all together, and that will still allow the key to move back and forth, but you can't remove it. So let's cut those, get the dowel pin in that key, and get to assembly. One last thing when it comes to the construction. When you pull out the bottom here, I want there to be a drawer. So we can make a little box that we can glue onto the bottom. So I've got this board here that's got wingay on one side, maple on the other. So I'm gonna make a box real quick. Very last step is to apply some finish. And for me, I'm just gonna use some wax. Ooh, that wax looks good on that wingay, huh? Now this is definitely a project that I would recommend using something like a wax and not a film finish. I think that a film finish might just make it a little bit hard for all these pieces to move back and forth. And wax is just gonna lubricate things. Plus, that looks beautiful. This looks absolutely gorgeous. So now's the moment I've been waiting for. Let's try it out. First, let's set the mood. What an amazing project. I've always wanted to make a puzzle box. I just never really had the time. So it was awesome to be able to sit down, come up with a design, and it actually worked. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully this project inspires you to make your own version of a puzzle box. If you do, leave a comment below so I can hear all about it. Until next time, get in your shop and build something awesome.